Good morning. So as you can tell, once again, I'm not Reverend Gary. I haven't grown any inches since then. He's on vacation this week. He went to the seminar up in Dallas, and he's visiting his nephew there. So before we start our congregational song this morning, I want to recognize somebody who's visiting. Ron Bretsky, who was our original music director here at Unity New Braunfels. So I'm sure that that's going to make us all sing even better and louder and brighter for it's Ron. I don't know why I thought it was for Ron. Welcome and thanks so much for coming back to visit us. And now Carol's going to start us off with our opening song, Let There Be Love. Stand if you're comfortable.
Hey, good morning, everybody. It's great to be here. Let there be love shared among us. Let there be love in our eyes. And let this love sweep our nations until we all realize that with a fresh understanding, all good will come forth in time. Let there be love shared among us. Let there be love. Let there be truth shared among us. Let there be truth in our eyes. Let this truth sweep our nations until we all realize that with a fresh understanding, all good will come forth in time. Let there be truth shared among us. Let there be truth. Let there be light shared among us. Let there be light in our eyes. And let this light sweep our nations until we all realize that with a fresh understanding, all good will come forth in time. Let there be light shared among us. Let there be light. Let there be joy shared among us. Let there be joy in our eyes. And let this joy sweep our nations until we all realize that with a fresh understanding, all good will come forth in time. Let there be joy shared among us. Let there be joy. Let there be peace shared among us. Let there be peace in our eyes. And let this peace sweep our nations until we all realize that with a fresh understanding, all good will come forth in time. Let there be peace shared among us. Let there be peace.
Think I'm safe now. That was great, everybody. Thank you. Wes will come join us in opening prayer.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Unity New Braunfels, and I'll be your prayer chaplain on duty. And before I start, I want to welcome all the online audiences and newcomers, and especially Ron. It's nice seeing you. And our prayer for this morning comes from Louise Hayes, and she says, "The more I love myself, the less stress I have. So this month, I focus on how truly remarkable I am. I know it is now time to stop apologizing for anything and everything, as an empowered person who comes from a positive, loving place. I relax and let go of whatever no longer serves me, allowing harmony and joy to envelope me instead. I especially embrace my inner child, keeping a sense of wonder alive within me. I do kind things for myself and remember to have lots of fun."
Amen. And so it is. Well, I don't think we have any, we might have some new people here, but I'm going to go ahead and remind you. Unity is a positive, practical approach to Christianity. And in Unity, we use a multitude of different tools to remind us and to help us along the way. We have the teachings of our founders, the Fillmores. We have the Bible. We have the teachings of the master teacher, Jesus, other spiritual leaders. And what this does, when we use these tools, when we put this to work in our daily lives, we are enabling ourselves to see that spark of God, that spark of the divine in everyone, so that namaste doesn't become just a word we use, but a feeling that we express. We say namaste a lot. The God in me recognizes the God in you. And in Unity, that is what we live, that is what we teach, that is what we breathe. And we do that together through affirmative prayer, and by coming together days like this, on Sundays, other days of the week, together as a spiritual community, as a spiritual family. So if you would join me in stating our affirmation that describes Unity to a T, we'll say this together. There is only one presence, one power, active in my life and in the universe. God, the good, omnipotent. Omnipotent. Wes?
All right. And today from the Daily Word, the word is belong. As spiritual beings, we all belong in the heart of God. And let's repeat it 2 more times.
As spiritual beings, we all belong in the heart of God. As spiritual beings, we all belong in the heart of God. Amen. Okay, this is where we're going to ask you to take anything you've got that's smarter than we are, cell phones, watches, anything, kind of put it in stun mode, let it be in the silence for a while. You'll get your messages and you can check them after service, but it won't be any disruption to anyone around you, so I appreciate that.
Our mission, acknowledging the divinity within, we welcome and empower all through fellowship, education, and service to our community and to the world.
That's the mission of Unity. Every Unity church across the world does the same thing. Our mission, what we're striving to achieve through our works, through our gatherings together. And our core values is spirit-filled. Say this together with me, if you will. My entire being is filled with the energy of spirit. Say it again like you really mean it and like you feel it, okay? My entire being is filled with the energy of spirit. There you go. There you go. Okay, here we go. Remember, we're going to have our pet blessing next week.
All God's critters got a place in the choir. Some sing low, some sing higher, some sing out loud on the telephone wire. Some just clap their hands or paws or anything they got now. All God's critters got a place in the choir. Some sing low, some sing higher, some sing out loud on the telephone wire. Some just clap their hands or paws or anything they got now.
So next Sunday is our pet blessing. If you're coming to Sunday service and you don't feel like going home and getting your dog or cat or gecko or whatever you have, I think there's a football player somewhere out there that has a pet alligator, I'm told. So if you don't feel like going back and getting the animal, bring a photo or just have a photo on your cell phone. Come out to the portico from 11:30 after service until 1:30. Reverend Gary will be here and be available. We have certificates for your pet and the whole bit. But if you want to bring your pet, that's fine too. We'll be right outside.
And our Sacred Volunteer of the Week is
Yes.
Deb Thomas.
Let's hear it
She's
for
prayer
Deb.
chaplain, bookkeeper, youth education, and founder, and things we probably don't even know about.
Many more things we haven't. I don't see Deb and Pete here today, but when you see Deb, make sure you give her a big hello. Let's keep Deb in our thoughts and prayers this week in gratitude and thanksgiving for all that she does for our spiritual community. She's an amazing woman, and we really so appreciate what she does. And now, Carol, if you'll lead us in our congregational song. Everybody, let's stand up and belt one out together, shall we?
We are one in the Spirit. We are one in the Lord. We are one in the Spirit. We are one in the Lord. And we pray that our unity may one day be restored. And they'll know will work side by side. We will work with each other. We will work side by side. And we'll guard each one's dignity and save each one's pride. And they'll know we are living by our love, by our love. Yes, they'll know we are living by our love. We will walk with each other. We will walk hand in hand. We will walk with each other. We will walk hand in hand. And together we'll spread the news that God is in our land. And they'll know we are living by our love, by our love. Yes, they'll know we are living by our love.
Thank you, Carol. I always love it when Carol's here. But then I like it when Rudy's here, and I love it when David's here and Emily's here. Can you tell I just love music?
You just love it here. That's right.
So I was kind of trying to come up with a good title for today's talk and a good message. And I thought back when our daughter Megan was a little gal, and we used to watch the Muppets together. And Joe Raposo wrote a song, "It's Just Not That Easy Being Green." And there's a spiritual message behind that, so bear with me while my inner child comes out today, okay? It's not that easy being green, having to spend each day the color of the leaves. What I think it could be nicer being red or yellow or gold or something much more colorful like that. It's not easy being green. It seems you blend in with so many other ordinary things, and people tend to pass you over because you're not standing out like flashy sparkles on the water or stars in the sky. Anybody ever feel like that? It's not easy being ordinary, is it? I turned 70 last year and I realized, wow, what have I done? You know, I'm 70, what have I done? I was never the CEO of a big firm, never found a cure for any disease, let alone my own common colds. Never brought peace to the land, but what did I do? And I got to thinking about it. Sometimes it's not easy being green. It's not easy being just ordinary. And then I realized, as I started going down that rabbit hole, because that's what it becomes, is that rabbit hole, that I was taking with me everybody along the way on my little pity party. Because what have I done? Well, I haven't done anything. Well, yeah, I've done a lot of things. And it made me start thinking about, how do we feel about ourselves? Do we feel like it's not that easy being green? It's not easy being me? Is it that it's not easy being me? Or is it that I'm not sure who I am, or I'm not comfortable in my own skin? What does it mean it's not that easy being green? Because I read these words and I really concentrated on this. And to me, it really boils down to, am I comfortable being who I am? Am I comfortable being Kathy McNamara, 70 years old, in this body? Because how many of you wake up in the morning like I do, you get out of the shower, and unfortunately we have a big floor-length mirror on the back of the... Yeah, we paid for it too, for God's sakes. It's on the back, it's on both sides of our closet door, which when you get out of the shower, there's the closet door. So there's no escaping seeing what's in the mirror. How many of you get up, look in the mirror and go, oh my God, what happened? Anybody have that feeling? Please, thank you. Somebody raise your hand so I don't feel like I'm alone here. But you look at it and go, oh my gosh, because it certainly doesn't look the way it did 50 years ago. And sometimes I look at myself in the mirror, clothed or otherwise, and I ask myself, what are you doing? What's with this? And I feel a little, is that the microphone? I feel a little like, oh gosh, what have I done? And so I put on that set of lenses. I take these off and I put on the set of lenses that have the coating that's not good. And I start seeing things very critically. And I start criticizing. Oh, I got this under here, and I got this, and oh my God. I start seeing things, and I don't like what I see. But is that fair? Is that really fair? Why am I not willing, with all the teachings I've gone through in New Thought between Centers for Spiritual Living and Unity, why am I not willing to look in that mirror and go, what a beautiful sight. That is a miraculous creation from God. You ever think about how your body functions? How does my heart know to keep beating day after day after day, minute after minute, second after second? How does my body know to do that? How do my lungs know? How does my diaphragm know to go up and down to get the air in and out of my lungs? Human body is a miraculous thing. Dr. Emily Briggs can testify to this because she understands the inner workings, and it's just mind-boggling, the systems, the engineering it took to put this thing together. And so when we look in the mirror and we're critical of ourselves, we're being critical of God's creations. You don't look at a baby and go, what a waste of protoplasm. Now, maybe at 3 a.m. when they've been screaming all night long, I'll leave that to subjectivity here. But you look at a baby, you don't say, oh, that's the ugliest thing I've ever seen. Even if it's not a cute baby, you're still going to say it's a cute baby, right? So why are we so willing to criticize ourselves and our physical beings? Why are we not willing to just accept what it is? Now, I'm not saying I'm going to look in the mirror when I get out of the shower tomorrow and go, that's gorgeous. Because I'm going to see some things, areas in which I can improve. Because we do need to take care of our bodies. We do need to try and do all the things that we know. I'm not going to give you a health lesson here. We all know the things we should do to stay healthy. And we do those. But we need to start looking at ourselves a little less critically. Ernest Holmes in The Science of Mind said, life is a mirror and will reflect back to the thinker what he thinks into it. So what you think into that mirror is what you're seeing. So if you look in the mirror and say, you know what? 70 years old, kind of wasn't very kind to my body during softball years or whatever, but all in all, that's not such a bad thing. Now I'm going to probably work on mobility a little bit, and I'm going to cut back on some of the Halloween candy that we don't have any in our house at all, right? Going to cut back on some of these things and treat myself a little better and make some improvements. But I'm going to start looking at myself in the mirror and going, what a miraculous creation this is, and how blessed I am that God gave me this. Now, would I like it to be a little taller, a little slender? Yeah, sure. But what I've been given is still a miraculous, wonderful thing. Life as a mirror will reflect back to the thinker what you think into it. So we've got to really be careful about those thoughts we put in there, don't we? We need to be careful about what we think, because your thoughts become things. We've all heard that. Your thoughts become things. And the things that we are thinking, the things that we are creating, those are what we're getting in our life all the time. You know, if you get out of bed in the morning and before your feet hit the floor, say, God, this is going to be a terrible day. I've got to deal with meeting with the person at work that I don't like. Maybe, Emily, I've got that patient that comes in and never stops complaining. I can't do anything right. You know, you've all had those days where you get up and go, oh, this is just going to be a rotten day. Steve may get up and it's pouring rain and he's got to drive and he's going, oh, this is one of those nerve-wracking days. So what happens throughout the day when that's how you face it? What you put out there joyfully comes back to you, right? That's called the law of reciprocity. We have spiritual laws. The law of reciprocity is what I give is what I'm going to get. So you really need to start thinking about what you're putting out there. You get up in the morning and say, well, in spite of the fact that it's a rainy day, you know, it's good. My dad used to say, if you can get up in the morning with enough air in your lungs to complain about the day, it's a good day. My father was a Marine. He didn't say complain, but I'm going to clean it up because we're here on church on a Sunday morning. So what do we do? What do we do to make sure that we're watching our thoughts, watching ourselves? We put all those spiritual tools into place. We use our affirmative prayer. We affirm that we have a positive, good day. And if something doesn't go our way, we still know that that's a temporary thing. I think I might have told you before, I had a we called them prayer practitioners in Centers for Spiritual Living, prayer chaplain, that Floyd used to have a great prayer, just instant prayer. When something hits the fan, Floyd would sit there and say, God is, this isn't, so it is. Real fast and easy, simple and to the point. So Why do we get this negativity that we think about? We're thinking about ourselves, our lives, not just our bodies, but what we're doing. What have I done with my life? Why do you think we do that? The world around us? Anybody get up in the morning and turn the news on first thing? Oh, thank you, God. I think we hit the news when we're channel surfing for another British murder show or something, but we don't. We'll watch Murder Light on BritBox all day long, but we will not watch the news. That would be the most horrible way for me to wake up in the morning, is to get barraged, with this negative news all the time. So we have to be careful about those things around us that are pushing in, right? And we're constantly being bombarded with things in our lives. We're constantly being bombarded with negativity, especially with an election year coming. There's just mud slinging all over the world. And so we just step back and let it go, and we turn our back and go do our thing, because don't subscribe to that. So this is something that's in Romans chapter 12, verse 2. Don't be conformed to this world. Don't be conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. That's a powerful statement to me. Very powerful statement. Don't listen to the garbage going on around you. Renew your own spirit, renew your own ideas, renew your own thoughts. Let those be the things that take you on the next step and the next step, because that's the important part of your life. That's what you really want to see. Now, one of the things, I was saying to you, what have I done? So a couple of years ago, we were talking about what's our purpose in life, and Connie and I were kind of mulling that over. And I think if you're looking for a specific purpose in life, it's kind of hard to sometimes define that. For me, our purpose in life, truly our purpose in life, is to be an expression of God, to express God the best way we possibly can, express God in us, express God through us, and express God as us. And sometimes we take advantage of different circumstances to fall back on it. For example, I really think it would help us to understand the things we have that we consider ordinary. That it's not that easy being green, it's just ordinary. But there's a lot of things we do that are extraordinary, and we never think about it. We never really focus on those extraordinary things in our lives that we do. Connie crochets. I am in awe that she can take this ball of yarn and it's a little metal thing with a hook on the end and turn it into a gorgeous product, whether it's a baby blanket or an Afghan or whatever. And she whips it out like it's nothing. She's sitting there doing that while she's watching television. I can't tie my shoes and watch television, but she can do this. That's not ordinary. It's extraordinary, extraordinary. It's extraordinary. Deb Thomas is her profession. She does bookkeeping. She's wonderful with figures. And then she translates that, brings it back over, and does it in the church. How many people in here either hate math or just don't consider yourself very good at it? A lot of people don't like math, right? It's just not something fun. And yet Deb just excels. That's not an ordinary skill. To me, that's extraordinary. When I was a little girl, we would watch Shirley Temple movies together, the neighborhood kids and whatnot, and my mom. And all the little girls in the neighborhood were with their moms learning to sing Good Ship Lollipop. Anybody remember Good Ship Lollipop? Okay. My father was a huge Breakfast and Tiffany's fan. So I didn't sing Good Ship Lollipop because my dad's favorite song was Moon River. So my dad taught me how to sing Moon River. And that's what I grew up singing. And my dad insisted, he was adamant, anytime anyone came to our home, I had to get in there. He'd literally pick me up and put me in the middle of the room and say, okay, kid, belt it out. And I'd sing Moon River. And he'd come and sing it with me. And anytime we had people over, my dad made me stand in front of those people and speak and sing. And I used to think that it was just an ordinary thing. And then I started my ministerial studies and whatnot and things in my secular job. And I got to where I could stand in front of a large group of people and speak. And to me, it's just ordinary. And I was reminded that that's an extraordinary skill, that most people will not stand in front of a group of people and talk. I see some people nodding your head. How many people here do not want to be having public speaking of any kind? Yeah, it's just not something that you'd want to do. So we have all these extraordinary skills here. John Bergman, John Nonamaker, just this past week, were out back on the handicap rail and sanding it all down and getting it painted. I can't do that. It's an extraordinary skill. You probably thought it was just ho-hum tasks that need to be done, right? But they don't. John and Pete put that water line out to the nature sanctuary. That's extraordinary skills. I don't think you realize how many things that you do on a regular basis that are extraordinary. Lancine in her art, Ron in his music, Emily in her music, Kathy and Phyllis, licensed Unity teachers. Yes, Lauren and all the landscaping. Those are not ordinary things. Tom and his art, that's not ordinary. That's an extraordinary skill set. Everybody in this room has an extraordinary skill set. We just have to tap into it. We have to just tap into it and understand what that's like and what it means. There's a woman, Mary Morrissey. Barbara Thomason knows Mary. She's done some classes with her. Mary Morrissey is a big, big teacher in New Thought. I absolutely adore this woman. She is a phenomenal teacher and mentor, just human being. And I was at a seminar in San Diego and heard her say this quote: "It's as if a king sent you to a far and distant land with but one task to accomplish. And if you accomplished 1,000 other things, you needed to accomplish this, and that is to discover who you are." To discover who you are. Now, as we all grow spiritually and change things on our spiritual paths, so did Mary. This is a rendition of her latest, a little modification of that. It's as if a king has sent you into a far distant land with one specific task to accomplish: the discovery that you are more than you've known yourself to be. Not that you know who you are, but that you're more than you knew, more than you've known yourself to be. And that's a pretty moving thing when you really think about it. It's kind of hard for some of us, and definitely in my generation, to go there because we weren't allowed to think of ourselves that way. We weren't allowed to think of ourselves as more or better because they were being a braggart, or you could, that was just wrong. You weren't allowed to think about things like that. And I hope that we're all raising our children to think a little bit differently, and I hope that we're raising ourselves to think a little bit differently and think about, you'll hear me say this time after time, not just who we are, but whose we are. Because we are children of God. Because we are divine beings having a human experience. And that human experience is pretty profound at times. At times it'll take you to your knees. But it is a human experience that we're going through. And it makes it a lot easier if we remember the divinity that we come from. And that we have a safety net. We always have that safety net. And we have to remember that. But green's the color of spring. And green can be cool and friendly like. And green can be big like an ocean, or important like a mountain, or tall like a tree. When green is all there is to be, it could make you wonder why. But why wonder? Why wonder? I'm green and it'll do fine. It's beautiful, and I think it's what I want to be. So this week I'm going to encourage you to do two things. Personal exploration. Number one, look into your mirror with a new set of eyes. Put on some clear lenses and look and see the beauty that's there. You can see the things that need improving. That's fine. That's part of our human experience, right? We always want to make things better. But be appreciative. Stand in front of the mirror and be appreciative for all the things that you do have. And then number two, this week try to see yourself through our eyes. Not one of you came in here today and the first thing I looked at was your hair or your clothes or anything. What I generally will look at is the look on your face, your eyes. Do I see joy? Do I see sadness? How can I respond accordingly? What can I do? And when I do look at you with my eyes, I think you're all pretty special. So this week, See yourself through our eyes because we think you're pretty special. Namaste. Thank you. So what I'd like to do is have you just get comfortable in your chairs, our nice new comfortable chairs. Close your eyes if you're comfortable, just relax. And when you feel that chair supporting you, emotionally, mentally, and intellectually, know that you're being supported by God. You're being supported by this infinite being. You're also being supported by one another. We are here together as a spiritual family. And this week, acknowledge the beautiful person that you are. Acknowledge the gifts that you've been given. Acknowledge everything that is here for you, and that ordinary is a perception. That you are absolutely extraordinary. See yourself with that new set of eyes. Allow yourself to fall into love with what you see, with what you think, and renew your mind. Do not be conformed by the world, but by the renewing of your mind. So let's take a moment and just go into the silence, absorbing those thoughts. And as you bring your consciousness back into the room, know with me, there is only one divine power. There is only one God. And each of us is an integral part of it. Each of us is one with the one. And knowing that our thoughts become things, we will now guard those thoughts and make sure they are edited appropriately to bring forth our highest good, to bring forth that joy and that peace that is our birthright as children of God. I know that each person here this week will take with them that it's really not that bad being green. And so with tremendous thanksgiving and gratitude, I release this prayer to the law of God, knowing that it is made so here and now, as together we affirm, and so it is. Amen. Okay. Now, this week's affirmation. I'd like you to say this with me 3 times. Say it like you mean it. Say it with some energy. You ready? I love and accept myself just the way I am. I love and accept myself just the way I am. One more time. I love and accept myself just the way I am. All right. And now we're going to say the Lord's Prayer, the direct translation from Aramaic, the language spoken by Jesus. Did anybody know that in Aramaic, the word sin was an archery term? So to sin meant that you missed your mark. Which is why we don't like to use the word sin, because it's not really something we have to worry about. If you sin, if you miss the mark, you just take aim and shoot again. All right, let's do this together, my friends. Father, Mother, birther and breath of all, create a space inside us and fill it with your presence. Let oneness now prevail. Your one desire flows through ours as energy fills all forms. Give us this day our physical and spiritual nourishment. Untangle the knots of error that bind us as we release others. Don't let appearances make us forgetful of the source, but free us to act appropriately. For age to age, from you comes the glorious harmony of life. May these words be fertile ground from which our future grows. Amen. And now, Carol, thank you.
Thank you, Kathy. That was wonderful. I've enjoyed thinking about the being green concept, and I went back to my repertoire to a song I wrote when I was still kind of picking on myself. It's called Be Myself. After deep reflection, I felt dejection, 'cause I just want to be myself, but I can't let myself be. I practice deception to secure affection, when I just want to be myself. When will I let myself be? Maybe you have felt those cold winds blow, shivering the timbers of your soul. You can take up a collection and pray for resurrection. That won't help you be yourself if you can't let yourself be. Maybe you have felt those cold winds blow, shivering the timbers of your soul. Well, I've heard too much introspection is bad for the complexion, and I just want to be myself. Why can't I let myself be? I just want to be myself. When will I let myself be?
Thank you, Carol. This has been sticky today. Do we have anybody that's new today? Anybody new? Hi. Wes. Let me come back there. This is where I have my little sneaker things on, guys. Sorry. Would you like to tell us who you are and where you're from?
Hi. I was born in Russia. I lived in Mexico City for 15 years, and 13 years ago I came here. I live here with my mom, with my two daughters. My old daughter is not here today, but my youngest here, Valentina, my mom, Nina. I work in Seguin Clayton Homes. I sell mobile homes. And I try to be spiritual. I try to find why I am in this world and try to be better every day, working on myself.
Very good. What's your name?
Olga.
Olga. Nice to have you all here. Thank you. Did you get a little yellow? Oh, thank you. Anybody else that's new today? I'm being told. Sally? We're talking about Sally?
Oh my. I was going to be invisible.
And I'll let you be invisible if you want.
I came here once or twice about 11 years ago.
And now you're back.
And Ron was playing the guitar.
Oh, wow. See? Little connection there. Okay. Anybody else? Okay. Well, Olga, I'm sure Judy will explain that packet that she just gave to you. So this is a time where we welcome everybody that's new. We rub our hands together, get that energy going, and we bless you. Dear friends, we love you, we bless you, we appreciate you, and we behold the Christ in you. Namaste. Very good. Thank you so much for being here. And today, now we're going to welcome our online viewers. For those of you that couldn't be here today in person, but later in the week will be viewing this service, welcome. We hope you have a wonderful week and that you realize how extraordinary you are also. It's at this time where we do our offering affirmation. Olga, you and your family, your presence is all we need today. This is going to be a little backwards, guys. Sorry. If we'll do our offering affirmation together. Through a grateful, giving heart, my mind and love overflow with the abundance of God's all-providing, infinite supply. So, Olga, if you and your friends want to just bless the bowl, we have our wooden bowl full of affirmations. Please make sure that you all take as many as you need for the week. We have plenty to do, plenty to spare. All righty? And now, Carol, we'll start our walk of abundance. together we bless these gifts, these offerings that make this church, this community possible. We bless the intentions that are set forth on this day and all days. We are tremendously grateful for this, knowing that this is conceived as gifts of love. We also bless all those prayers in the prayer box in the foyer, all those people asking for assistance, asking for joy to share. This is a beautiful spiritual community, and we take this, each of us, into our hearts today with gratitude and thanksgiving. Amen. Okay. You ready?
Yeah. All right, I'm Wes Morrison again, and I'm going to be your prayer chaplain. And if you have anything in your heart you'd like to for me to pray with you for, I'll be right down here in the front row. I'm gonna say
Okay.
pew, but we don't have pews anymore.
Yeah, we used to say the front pew, and I had to remind Reverend Gary when the chairs came. We have rows now. Okay, so every Sunday morning we have a Sunday Unity Prayer service from 9:30 to 10 in the Gratitude and Prosperity Room. This kind of takes the place of that Wednesday meditation, and it's a beautiful half-hour guided meditation. It can be a number of things, and it's not just the prayer chaplains or Reverend Gary leading this. It's anyone who has a desire to do so. So please make sure if you'd like to lead it, there's a sign-up sheet in the foyer. I know we only go through December. We'll make sure we get a new one out there for next month, or for next Sunday, rather. Just come in, and if you want to get that little extra boost before Sunday service, it's a great way to do that.
Twice Blessed Treasures. Visit Twice Blessed for this and many other options and other new items, and your donations are welcome.
Yeah, Connie is here today, and she's gone through and she's circulating some of the stuff. So if you think, well, I thought I saw that and I really wanted to look at it again, look again, because she may have moved things around. We've put some holiday things out, and she's getting new donations all the time and rotating that. So take time to check that out and look and see. And then we've got the Unity New Braunfels dance group. You know, Reverend Gary loves his parties and his fun, and he's really enjoying this dance group. There's a sign-up sheet in the foyer. You can sign up, and he'll send you emails on whether there's new classes or what's going on, places to go and dance. And if there's a place to go and dance, you won't be alone, because Reverend Gary will be there dancing with you. I personally have 2 left feet, so if I'm being led in a dance, I've got to have somebody leading, there's no question.
Sacred Service opportunity. Sunday hospitality. We need someone for that, to make coffee and put out refreshments. Choose date and sign up on the sign-up sheet, and then just hang it in the kitchen.
Yeah, right inside the kitchen door, there's a sign-up sheet if you feel like that's something you'd like to do. I had never done it before, and last week we were kind of needing someone, so I went in, and it's very, very, if I can go in and do it, anybody can, because I'm not that talented when it comes to those things. But it's an easy chore, so feel free to sign up. Oh, I'm extraordinary. Thank you, extraordinary. So second Sunday game time today after service in the foyer. If you brought your own lunch, you want to come out there and play games. We decided to do that instead of in the evenings, that one Sunday a month, because in the nighttime, not too many of us really wanted to be driving at night. So this is a great way to come and have fun. You're already here. May as well make the most of it and get some socializing in as well. Cynthia, I would like you to come up and talk about this if you would. Cynthia Smith, one of our prayer chaplains and a local businesswoman.
Hi, everybody. We're having an event, Planning for the Future, Navigating Life's Transitions. It's me and one of my colleagues at Keller Williams, Holly Schmidt, and we are doing it Saturday, October 26th from 10:30 to 2, and November 2nd from 10:30 to 2 as well. We're going to have lunch provided, and it's going to be 3 hours. The first half hour is just kind of to get there and get settled, and then the first weekend we're going to have an attorney come in from Davidoff law firm, and we have a financial planner coming in for the second hour, and a real estate salesperson from Monarch Real Estate here in New Braunfels, and all of them are going to speak about the transition from, when you start having to making decisions for your future in terms of if it's time to go into assisted living, do you need to sell your house? Should you sell your house? These kinds of questions, wills, trusts, things like that. They're going to go over all of those things. The second weekend is we're going to have a property title person come in to talk about how important it is to make sure you have a clear title on your home. And it's amazing how many people think they do and they don't. And not necessarily their fault, but it happens. And then an assisted living spokesperson is going to come in and talk about what you need to know financially and what you need to know to prepare and answer any questions around that. And then Holly and I are going to wrap it up with the real estate portion on if it's time to sell your house, should you sell your house, and what people need to know about that and help you decide what's best for you. So we'd love to have you come. It's a free event for those who attend. I have a sign-up sheet in the back for you. There's also a QR code if you want to scan in and register that way, or you can just sign up on the sheet I have in the back. Thank you, everybody. I hope to see you there.
Thank you, Cynthia. It was great.
Oh, I'm sorry. It's going to be at the Keller Williams office on Landa Street, 888 Landa. It's right down from the Dollar General for those of you, or right next to Landa Place, right there on Landa.
All right. Thank you, Cynthia. And now, to cap off my talk, Carol Elliott's going to sing It's Not That Easy Being Green. I'm going to put the words up there. If you know the song and the lyrics, they're kind of tricky to sing, but she's here to do it with us.
Well, I'm so grateful to Kathy for choosing this topic, because there was a period in my life where I didn't watch TV. I didn't have a TV for 5 years because I just had a lot going on and I didn't want to be bombarded by bad news. But somehow or another, I missed out on this song. And so I'd never heard it before. So when she told me about her topic, I went online to look at it up. And first I watched Kermit singing the song, which is great. And apparently that was really Jim Henson's voice singing the song. And then, to my surprise, this song has been covered by an incredible group of people. Ray Charles covered it. Van Morrison covered it. Frank Sinatra covered it. And they just did their own versions, and some of them came on the Muppet Show, like Julie Andrews, and sang it with Kermit. But I just thought, well, what an amazing song, and what a great impact it's had. So it's pretty tricky. I'm going to try and do the Frank Sinatra version, which is kind of slow and smooth. But if y'all want to sing it along with me the second time through, we can do that, or we can just stop after one. It's not that easy being green, having to spend each day like the color of leaves, when I think it could be nicer being red or yellow or gold, or something much more colorful like that. It's not that easy being green. It seems you blend in with so many other ordinary things, and people tend to pass you over, 'cause you're not standing out like flashy sparkles on the water or stars up in the sky. But green's the color of spring, and green can be cool and friendly like, and green can be big like an ocean, or important like a mountain, or tall like a tree. When green is all there is to be, it could make you wonder why. But why wonder, why wonder? I am green and it'll do fine. It's beautiful. and I think it's what I want to be. Thank you. Y'all want to sing one with me? You want to try it? Okay, here we go. Let's go. It's not that easy being green, having to spend each day the color of the leaves, when I think it could be nicer being red or yellow or gold or something much more colorful like that. It's not that easy being green. It seems you blend in with so many other ordinary things, and people tend to pass you over, 'cause you're not standing out like flashy sparkles on the water or stars in the sky. But green's the color of spring, and green can be cool and friendly like, and green can be big like an ocean, or important like a mountain, or tall like a tree. When green is all there is to be, it could make you wonder why, but why wonder, why wonder? I am green and it'll do fine. It's beautiful, and I think that's what I wanna be.
Yay, thank you, Carol.
Thank you.
Gosh, thank you so much. When I saw that she was going to sing that song, I was over the moon, just over the moon. I'm a Muppets fan. I'm sorry, I was never a Barney the dinosaur. Thank God my daughter never was either. So, okay, this is a time where we're going to thank all the people online for joining us. We hope you have a spectacular week. Make sure that you enjoy being green, and we'll see you next time. Take care.